Oh yeah. So I'll tell you, I'll share with the audience how I gave up junk food. My first try failed miserably, by the way, which was what I followed the instructions of a lot of nutritionists, which is get rid of the junk food from your house. You don't see them in your house, you don't have them. Well, that failed miserably. I tell you why. I love devil dogs. You guys have devil dogs where you are? It,
No.
it's like little cakes. Anyway, they're terrible for you, but I love them.
No,
Anyway,
no. Okay.
so I got rid of them from my house. I get rid of soda from my house. But then I would go to my mother's house, and my mother kept all my favorite junk food. So I would just have one devil dog. I would have half of a box because I was craving it even more. And that's when I realized, God, this is not working. And that's when I realized that I'm trying to control my environment instead of learning to control me. So what I did was that's when I came up with the rule: Monday through Friday, no junk food. On the weekends, I can have all the junk food I want. So I started with soda first because I broke up junk food into liquids and salads. So I started with soda. So I remember Monday to Friday, it was tough, especially having the soda machine right next door. On the weekend, I can have all the soda I want. So on the weekend, I went crazy. So I had tons of soda. The following week, I was able again to resist soda Monday through Friday. On the weekend, again, I had some soda. The third weekend, I forgot to have my soda. And all of a sudden, I realized, oh my God, I no longer crave sodas. So then I did the same thing with the rest of the junk food. So my rule is Monday to Friday, I don't eat junk food. Now you can bring my favorite junk food. I can have it sitting on my desk starting Monday, and it wouldn't even phase me. You can offer my favorite, which is a donut, which is glazed donuts, are really good. But if it's during the week, it wouldn't even phase me. It wouldn't even give me a craving, where it's something I naturally like because I learned to control me. Most
Mhm.
people try to control their environment. That's a mistake because your environment is not always under your control. And if
Mhm.
let's say you learn to control your environment, but let's say you work in an office and your coworker brings your favorite junk food, you have no control. And that's what I realized, that a lot of the programs are trying, they're constantly controlling your environment, where they're going to your house, they get rid of all the junk food. And you've seen, I don't know if you've seen the shows. Those things don't work in real life. Like in my house, I keep sodas, I keep all my favorite junk food. But honestly, now I can have half a can of soda and dump the rest. It doesn't even appeal to me as much anymore. But all this stuff, it's in my house, and including my kids during the week, they don't have that stuff. Now, do we make exceptions? Of course we do. If it's Christmas, if it's holiday, if it's a birthday, we make exceptions. But this is why, but it's practical and realistic.
Mhm.
And
Yes,
that's
so mhm. Yeah, so
church. Yeah.
it's again come back to creating habits. Yes,
Yes.
once you repeat the certain things like the certain patterns from Monday to Friday, not eating that sweets or whatever junk food, you create that new habit, and when you do it long enough, it comes to the time that it goes already automatically, that you don't even have to think about this,
Yep.
because body just set itself to that pattern, and you will not feel that you want that.
Exactly. And back to a little bit of psychology. When you're trying to change the behavior, expect some failures. It's going to happen. You're not going to be perfect. I remember myself when I was trying to give up soda. I broke the rule a few times. But here's what I want your audience to keep in mind: when you break, in other words, when you do the wrong thing, okay, and you give into a craving, don't beat yourself up. You're human after all. The only thing you got to ask yourself is, what can I learn from this, and how can I do better next time? And as long as you keep learning from your mistakes, you're going to get better and better and better. And to me, like, when my clients give in to a craving, again, the question I tell them to ask themselves: what could I, when the same situation comes up again, what could I do differently? As a matter of fact, I will give you the three questions. If I remember correctly, Socrates taught his students to ask themselves every night in order to better themselves. So the first question is, what did I do right today? Okay. So this way you give yourself credit for what you've done right. What did I do wrong today? And what can I learn from it? Okay, in other words, what could I've done instead? And the
Hmm.
third one is what I should have done today and I didn't do at all. By asking these three simple questions at the end of every day, you basically, and by the way, it takes like 5 minutes, not even. That's how you get yourself better and better every day. Because to me, nobody can just change your behavior just like this. If it was that easy, you read a book, you're done, you apply it. And the one thing I always tell people is that if you heard the saying, knowledge is power, you guys have that saying? Well, I disagree with that. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. It's not what you know, it's what you apply that makes a difference. And that's where most people have a hard time with is in the application of things. And I think part of the reason why people have a hard time is not because there's anything wrong with them, but there's something seriously wrong with the way a lot of fitness professionals are trying to help them, which is overwhelmed with too much information. And information, they can never become habitual.
Yes, yes, right. Then implementation of the knowledge is power.
Yep.
Otherwise, if you just have the knowledge and don't do anything with that knowledge, it is just like you empower the bookshelf, yes,
Yes.
or your computer files, which can have all that information. And
Yep.
the key of success is just to start implementing, just become aware of your habits, of your these patterns, how you think about yourself, how you see yourself, what is your standard, because you always you always act according to your standard.
Yep.
You can gain weight, but if it is not standard, you will lose weight.
Exactly.
But if it is your standard, this this much to be like, if it is, if you're happy, that is good. But if you don't happy with this standard, create a new standard in your life, and then start to do new things. Because if you just continue doing these things which you did before, eating the way you eat before, nothing will change, because these paradigms or this multitude of habits which are deeply rooted in our subconscious mind, they are very strong. It is not just like speaking to somebody and
Yep.
decide like, oh, from tomorrow I am becoming a new person. It will not happen. That is why so many people write new year resolutions which just stay on the paper, because nothing happens if you don't change every habit once at time. Just make decision you are doing these new things for 30 days. If you didn't do what you decided, just start from day one. Yes, just start from day one again. Don't beat yourself up. Just learn how you can do better and find the triggers. What
Yep.
triggered you to do that, and be conscious about that. Again, all is about consciousness, because 95% of our behavior is habitual, and if
Yep.
you're not conscious, nothing will change. We will continue doing the same, and if our habits are not healthy habits, this is how people get sick, and nobody want to get sick. And now we can see that the age of Alzheimer or other diseases, they become very young. Yes,
Exactly. It's scary.
and
It,
yes,
it,
and most of the reason is because people eat. And again, one thing about food that I would like to notice here, that it is important to read ingredients,
yes.
because there are so much chemicals now, different taste amplifiers, yes, like different uh, emul- emulgators, yes.
Yes. I know. It's almost to make you more to make the food more addictive.
Yes, and like all this food, like chips, like you start eating chips and you just want to eat all the packet till the
Yep.
last one. Because it is especially done like it chemically interferes with your brain and creates that craving, right? So be conscious about what you eat, and choose to eat that food that really serves you, that gives your body great energy. And make this habit to read ingredients and learn a little bit about different and that what comes after the different numbers. So because we can see that so many cancer cases now, yeah, like
Yes.
young
Big
people,
time.
even children, get cancer from where, right? Like before we didn't hear even anything like that. Or diabetes, yes, so many different diseases. So it all comes from food, and our food can be our medicine. We don't need any other medicine. I
I
am
agree.
very yes, like I am very big fan of having our food as medicine. So we never need to take any chemical medicine. Yes, because it is also people get in the loop. They take medicine, it has side effects, then also
Yeah,
they can go to doctors and doctors prescribe them another medicine, and it is just in the loop, and all this medicine have side effects. Yeah, so better to be conscious about that and not get to that stage, because the food can be medicine. There are so many different herbs, yes, and all these herbs, all this planet is was designed to have everything that human beings can live healthy and happy life.
I agree. And the one thing that I was going to say before I forget, as far as changing your standards, the one exercise I tell my clients to do is every night when you're falling asleep, visualize yourself the way you want to be. Like visualize the body that you want, the health that you want. Because basically, that visualization as you're falling asleep, you're helping reprogram your subconscious mind to tell the subconscious mind, this is the new standard. This is where I want to be. And what you're going to find is all of a sudden, you're going to start making better choices. And as far as the junk food, it's an interesting question. Somebody asked me one day. I'm like, wow, that I never thought about it. Think about nobody binge eats any natural foods. All the binge eating is done on unnatural foods. Isn't it interesting? You know,
Mhm. Yes.
it's because all the chemicals, all the stuff that they put in to make it more attractive. Um, and to me, and as far as like the food industry is concerned, don't expect the food industry to change their ways. The only way you're gonna get the food industry to change their ways is you change your choices through our wallets. That's the only way you're gonna change the industry. Because if people stop buying product with certain chemicals in, well, guess what? And the products are not selling, the food industry is gonna get the message. That's the only way you're gonna apply changes when people change. Because the industry, uh, they're gonna keep producing what people buy, whether that's good for people or bad for people. They don't care. I mean, they don't care. It's not like they want to make us sick, but all they care about is the bottom line. How can I sell more food? That's it.
Yes, yes, and I agree more even actually that they don't care because yeah, I definitely agree. But looking now in the ingredients which they put even now for food for children, and knowing how harmful they are, it shows they don't care. It's just a business. So everybody has to become doctor for themselves. And again, it all starts from being aware and conscious, because people don't think that they can get sick. They think, oh, somebody is ill, somebody is sick,
Yeah.
but so far it never happens with me. But if they don't take care of their natural health that God gave us with the birth, and which our body is so capable to adjust that and to keep health. But if we constantly put poison in our body, so it sometime it can
Eventually, it's
break.
going to break down. I agree. Eventually, it's going to break down. And to me, and as far as we talked about sick before, yeah, people don't realize that once you take care of your health, truly take care of your health, you will find even the common cold, you don't get them. Like personally, I haven't gotten sick, like sick 20 years now. I don't get sick. I don't even get the common cold. Not because I'm superhuman, it's because I'm actually listening to my body and I eat the way my body's telling me to. And once it becomes a habit, it's really, and by the way, like I said, I tell my clients, I still eat my junk food. I still I love my food actually. Like I said, I used to be in the cooking business. So I love food. And matter of fact, I enjoy food now more than ever before because one of the benefits, by the way, I forgot to mention about eating out of true hunger, your body is ready to receive food. Your taste buds are more sensitive, so you can taste food better. So you mean you don't have to put as much salt on it, you don't have to put as much spice on it, and your stomach is ready to receive food. There's something to
Mhm.
be said about that. That the body's ready to receive food. It creates the right chemistry in order to digest the food and everything it needs to do. But when you're eating and you're naturally hungry, the body wasn't asking for food. Oh, and one more thing I want to mention here really quick. When people say to me, "Oh, I'm hungry all the time." Well, what happens sometimes, and sometimes, a lot of times, I should say, there's a hormone called leptin, and the hormone tells your brain that you're full. Did you know for a lot of people, the body has built resistance to the hormone? So, in other words, it doesn't register that you're full and
Mhm.
has a lot to do with the fact that we're eating nonstop and we never give our body a break from food. One of the benefits of doing a 16-hour fast on a regular basis, the body becomes more sensitive to the hormone. And then you're going to find you get satisfied with less food without feeling deprived. And that's,
Yes.
then
Mhm.
that's to me why I emphasize so much on the how to eat habits first, to learn those habits before you focusing on what to eat, because obviously both of them are important.
Yes, and also this feeling that you are not hungry comes in 20 minutes after you start
Yes,
eating.
it takes time for the
Yeah,
brain to get the message.
that's why also it is important to eat slow because your body will respond you in 20 minutes. Like you eat now and you will feel later. That's why if you just eat much fast and much and within 20 minutes you can eat so much and then on the body you say that it is was
Yeah,
too much, right?
it's stuffed.
So yeah.
I tell people that if at the end of the meal you really feel your stomach stretched and uncomfortable, you ate too much. You gotta, like you said, you gotta be finished at a time that you could eat a little bit more. You know, and the one advice I give people, especially if they eat like a family style or buffet style, always put on your plate half of the food that you think that you can eat. You can always get up and get more. Nobody's gonna stop you. But if you put it on your plate, chances are you're gonna eat it. And that's
Mhm.
why you're gonna add an extra step of getting more food. That's why I put it on your plate, half of the food. Get up and get more. Make it that you need to get up to get more food instead of having it all piled up on your plate.
Yeah, thank you so much, Stavros, for your amazing gifts of knowledge and your experience. And I think that next time when we meet, let's speak about importance of physical activity.
Yes, actually, yeah, that would be a good program too, because I have a whole a lot to say about that too. Anyway,
Great. So,
no, Ellen, thank you for having me on the show. I really enjoyed the conversation.
yes, me too. So I'm looking forward for our episode number two, how to be fit and happy and healthy. Thank you so much for being an amazing guest today on our show.
Thank you.